Welcome to the Jasmine Star Show. I'm very excited to intro this podcast specifically because it's an inside look at a recent conversation I had on the inside of the Social Curator Community. Like you may know, that community is private. It's for paying users of Social Curator, but every so often there's a conversation that I believe I've been called to share on a greater level. And also it gives you a peek inside of the weekly conversations that we have inside of the community. So I'm in there doing group coaching at least once a month, and we have guest speakers and we do Instagram edits and we have our other coaches come in and talk about strategy. We try to have at least one live class a week so people are tapping in wherever they can. Well, I've come in every single week to host what I call a mindset moment. This is just something that I have been learning in business, and I'm sharing it there in the community as an inside look so that we can co-build together. So these mindset moments are really nothing to have to do with like actual marketing strategy, but the mindset it takes to be a business owner. And so these mindset moments have become near and dear to my heart. They're very short and sweet, but they've been a powerful way for me to document the journey, bring people on, and share lessons so that we're growing together in the quickest amount of time possible. I recently hosted a mindset moment called What to Do When the Unexpected Happens. And here I shared a 4-part framework. I'm going to share that framework with you now so that you know going in what you should be listening for, because friends, this has had a radical impact in the way that I have been showing up. Step 1, acknowledge the emotion. Step 2, deep dive into alignment. Step 3, success is the best revenge. And step 4, how can I be kind to myself? These 4-part framework, it might not make sense to the listening eye now, but in this quick chat, I give examples, I deepen the framework, and I give practical applications so that you could start applying this to your life and business today. I hope you enjoy this episode. Good morning, and I am so thrilled to be here because we're going to be talking about something that is near and dear to my heart. I had this fabulous conversation with an amazing group of people, and I want to focus on what to do when the unexpected happens. Life and business has a crazy way of throwing things our way. In fact, 365 days ago, because I keep a 365-day journal, I actually wrote the exact words that JD, my husband and business partner, told me. Quote, "It's going to get a lot worse before it gets better." He said that 365 days ago, and I told him, because I went back to my journal today, I continue to write, and I went back and I said that everything he said was true, and I didn't want to agree with it then. But if I can go back to myself 365 days ago, I would use a 4-part framework that I have now since learned and I practice again and again, because unexpected things will expectedly happen. We must expect the unexpected and embrace that it is part of life and our business journey. So I'm going to be sharing a 4-part framework with you to help you process when the unexpected happens. And I'm going to be focusing specifically from a business perspective. So number 1 of 4, acknowledge the emotion. It is absolutely okay to be angry, to feel disappointed. When we acknowledge the fear, the doubt, the disappointment, everything on the in-between, acknowledge it. Because what happens was, at the time, I was stuffing down feeling nervous. I was stuffing down feeling disappointed. I was stuffing down feeling angry. But when we acknowledge the emotion, we can then give it the space that it needs. And just because a feeling is real, the feeling is real, it doesn't make it a fact. Just because you're afraid, that is a feeling. Acknowledge the feeling. But the fear of your imagined scenario isn't real. So acknowledge the emotion and then understand that it's not a fact. Number 2, deep dive in alignment. What must you do when the disappointment happens? When you focus on the big picture. So when I was at my lowest, or what I felt was at my lowest 365 days ago, and my husband said, "Hey, it's going to get worse before it gets better," I wish I could tell myself to go back and get grounded. There is a bigger picture on the horizon, and whatever difficult decisions you need to make and whatever you are facing right now, yes, it sucks. And I'm sorry, it's very hard. And I'm sorry you don't know what to do next. But when you think of the big picture, the vision of where you picture your life, your business, your trajectory, your team, your family. When you focus on those things, you come back and say, am I willing to go on one more day? That's just the main question.
Am I willing to try one more day to get to the bigger picture at the end of this? Number 3 of 4. So we're going to review. Step number 1 was to acknowledge the emotion. Step number 2 is to deep dive into alignment. Now we're at step number 3. And this one's petty. I'm just going to say this one's petty and I'm a little bit embarrassed to admit it, but it's still my framework. So I'm just going to own it. Success is the best revenge. That's it. Whenever I am facing something that was unexpected, and whenever I feel those emotions, and then I get into alignment to my vision, then I buckle up and say, success is the best revenge for anybody who has ever doubted you, for anybody who has ever thrown shade at your way, for anybody who questioned why you continue to do this thing. I will go back and say, if not now, then soon. And when I reach that pinnacle, and when I reach the thing and complete the thing I set out to do, success is the best revenge. So until I'm there, I'm going to quiet my mouth and I'm going to do the work while people sleep. And I am going to stay dedicated when other people are vacationing. And I am going to focus on the thing that I know to be true. Because when I get to that point, I won't have to say anything. My results will silence their doubts. Step number 4 to accepting and acknowledging when the unexpected happens is ask myself, how can I be kind to myself in this moment? 365 days ago, I was so mean. I would tell myself, you're not doing enough. What could you have done differently? Could you have avoided this? I'm sure you could have avoided this. Why couldn't you see this 6 months ago? Is there anything you could have done to have changed the situation? And so all I would do would be asking myself these limiting questions, things I actually couldn't answer. When I say, well, couldn't you have done things differently? I don't know. If I thought of it back then, I would have, but I kept on beating myself up instead of saying, listen, everything is teaching you a lesson. The kind thing here is to find the lesson and then improve from there. I want you, when the unexpected happens, to actually be kind to yourself and acknowledge if it was expected, you would have prepared for it. That's it. Can you trust yourself to say that if this disappointment, if this setback, if this unexpected awful thing came up, if you would have seen it months ago, could you have not acknowledged that to be the case? So the 4-part framework of what to do when the unexpected happens. Friends, step number 1 is to acknowledge the emotion, but a feeling isn't fact. Please remember that. Step number 2 is to deep dive into alignment. If you're struggling finding that purpose, if you're struggling to get back to it, it's because the vision of your future, what you actually want to do with your business, as crazy as it seems, as unlikely as it might be, going back to that vision and saying, I must choose to get back up today. Here is one thing that I am certain of. If I stop today, I'm not getting there, guaranteed. But if I get back up today, perhaps I am one step closer to where I am supposed to be. Step 3 of the framework is to understand that success is the best revenge. It's okay to get a little bit angry to prove the doubters and the naysayers wrong. And when you are there, your results will silence their doubts. Step number 4, ask yourself, how can I be kind to myself? Can you find one kind thing to hold on to and say, if you knew something was going to happen, could you have not prepared for it? But you didn't know. What lesson are you here to learn? And how can you be kind to yourself in the process? Because if you choose to get back up after throwing yourself a pity party, it's okay. Remember when I said acknowledge the emotions? Early in my career, it would take me a few days. Who am I kidding? I'm gonna be real. Early in my career, it would take me months to rebound from a setback. Months. And this is the sign that I have known as a person and as an entrepreneur. My rebound time is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And so it's okay to throw yourself a pity party, to be angry. And then you say, I'm going to be angry for 24 hours. I'm going to be angry for 24 days. Whatever that is, give yourself that time and space and then buck up, buttercup. Your time has come. You've given yourself your angry time. I'm going to sit under a gray cloud. Great. You've given yourself that time. And if you choose to sit under that gray cloud for as long as it will, the only person it is truly affecting is you. So after you sat under that gray cloud, after you've had your angry time, after you've thrown yourself a pity party of one, now it's time for you to say, what is the lesson and how am I learning from this? So whatever you happen to be facing at any given point in time, I want to say, you're not alone. I hope this 4-part framework helps you. And to always remember that the choice to get back up is only yours. It's okay to rest. And it's okay to sit, but it is not okay to quit if you have a clearly defined vision of where you believe your life is truly calling you. This is your friendly reminder. I am so proud to sit here and do life and business with you on the inside of Social Curator. This community has really transformed the way I am showing up as an entrepreneur, and I hope the same for you. All right, friends, be blessed. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I am so thankful. I'm trying to end it on a high note, and I'm just mumbling my words. Friends, I am so happy you're here. I wish you all the best. Have a beautiful day. Bye, y'all.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And if you happen to be in a place where the unexpected has happened, I want you to know that you're not alone. I know it could feel that way. And I know there is a temptation to shrink down instead of taking up the space that you need. Nothing would make us happier than to see you on the inside of our community as a reminder that you are not building your business alone, and that every single week I am in there talking about what it is meaning to build a business in the face of uncertainty, in the face of fear, in the face of doubt, but then also getting the tools to say, today is my day, that I will not back down today. And so we have these mindset moments in addition to group coaching and other masterclasses on the inside of Social Curator. These podcasts have always been created in a place of love as a way to encourage you. And I hope that's exactly what happened with us today. For those of you who are listening, I would love to know where you are tuning in from. So send a DM. I love connecting with listeners. You could find me at Jasmine Star. And if you would like more information on Social Curator, you could visit us at socialcurator.com. I hope you have a beautiful day.